Previously, famous actress Samara had an affair with her personal trainer, and that at first was a terrible scandal. But in the end, it all worked out, and they got engaged to be married. Unfortunately, in the middle of the wedding, Umang decided to leave Samara because even though she is the love of her life, she is also an older woman with a successful career, so Samara wanted to control all the couple's decisions. So Umang jilted Samara at the altar. She's crazy. Look, if Lisa Ray fell in love with me, I would be whatever she says, whenever she says, however she says, and that's pretty much what happened in the first 2 seasons. Let's go to the 3rd season. While engaged to the very famous Samara, Umang's career as a personal trainer was on the rise. She became the favorite trainer of the rich and famous in Bombay. But since the failed wedding, she is struggling and has few clients. 2 clients to be exact, all bad. But Umang doesn't let not having a girlfriend or a job discourage her. She continues to hang out with her friends and undertakes a more than questionable plan to reconcile with her family. She travels to her hometown, and there she is reunited with her mother and sister-in-law Pinky, who used to be her girlfriend but is now happily married to her brother. They are both very happy to see her. The one who is not happy to see her is her father, who throws her out of the house as soon as he sees her. Again. But Umang doesn't leave the house. She just goes to the courtyard to talk to her sister-in-law. Sister-in-law who tells her how happy she is in her marriage, and then immediately kisses Umang. Oh, and on top of that, Umang's mother saw them. Very bad. Luckily, Umang went there with her best friends, so she doesn't have to be there alone in that nightmarish dinner. They are there all tense at the table, while Umang's father tells them all the ways Umang disappointed him. He thinks that she should be more like Pinky, the same Pinky who was married to his son. But she was kissing Umang a while ago. He's going to have like 3 heart attacks when he finds out, anyway. Surprisingly, the rest of the family supports Umang. Her mother defends her against her father, and her brother accepts her into the family again. Although who knows how he will react when he finds out that Umang kissed his wife. We'll see. After this family reconciliation, Umang and her friends go out for a walk around town to clear their heads. And it turns out that Umang is something of a celebrity in her homeland. With all the fuss made over her affair and failed marriage to Samara, she is the hot topic of her province. And speaking of Samara, where is Samara? Because Umang doesn't even mention her, she just goes around remembering the first time she kissed Pinky, when she fell in love with Pinky. Pinky this and Pinky that. And of course also remembering when Pinky chose to marry her brother instead of leaving with her for Bombay. After her family bonding moment, Umang returns to town, all ready to take matters of employment into her own hands and set up her own gym. There's just one small problem. No bank wants to lend her money to get started, and that's not the only thing. On top of that, her landlord wants to evict her because she's not paying the rent. Everything that can go wrong goes wrong, but all is not lost. Umang not only had a rich girlfriend, she also has 3 rich friends, and one of them offered to invest in her business idea.
No. Well, yes.
And here she is with the sponsorship of her best friend. She opens her own gym, and finally everything is going well, sort of. Because people are signing up to her gym in the hope of seeing celebrity clients. But ever since Umang jilted Bollywood queen Samara at the altar, she doesn't seem to be meeting many friends or celebrity clients. On the other hand, she's also having trouble hiring instructors, until one day this guy Sean shows up, who seems to be perfect for a yoga instructor and also seems to be cool with Umang. Terrible every time I see more distant the return of Samara. One night after work, Umang runs into this girl Meher and her little dog Caramel. She invites her in and we talk a bit. Terrible. First Pinky, then Sean, and now Meher. No Samara. And that's not the only bad thing. Outside the gym, somebody left a graffiti with homophobic message. The next day, Sean covers it up with this horrible paint, but still, all bad. Because not only are they leaving horrible messages on the gym walls, they're also attacking her on social media. Some homophobes, but mostly people who don't forgive her for leaving Samara humiliated at the altar, after Samara risked her career to be with her. And not only is Samara's fan club attacking her, they've even created their own page dedicated to hating Umang. And there she is, mad at Samara for this. That doesn't make sense because Samara was the first victim of this situation. But well, Umang is mad at Samara and flirting with Meher. May God forgive her because I can't. First she gives her private lessons at the gym, and then they meet for a bite to eat that night at Meher's house. And it seems Umang has found a kindred soul. While the world won't forgive her for the failed wedding, Meher tells her that she got married and regretted it, so all good with running away from her wedding. At the end of the night, they end up kissing. And the next night she seemed to be having a thing with Sean, but it was a false alarm. The vibe they had was a best friend vibe. That weekend, Umang and Meher meet by chance in a bar. Yeah, by chance. And they also leave at the same time, purely by chance.
Wink, wink.
They go back to Meher's house and play something sexy with bandages and food. The next day, Meher's daughter goes to see Umang, asks her to watch out for her mother's heart, and welcomes her into the family. And that's not the only thing. Meher is already planning a family trip to the Maldives. This is going really fast. Umang stands there with her best panicked face, but doesn't say anything to her. Frankly, this girl expects all her fiancé girlfriends or friends to have telepathy. After the drama with Meher, Umang leaves for the gym to organize some things with Sean, and then leaves for home with her best tragedy face on. A face of tragedy that she still had the next day when she goes to see Meheri and ends up with her. The next day, Meheri goes to see her and tells her she's selfish, a girl who won't commit, and a lot of horrible things. Things she was fine with when it happened to Samara, but now that it was her, it's unforgivable, the hypocrisy. Anyway, nothing with that for now. One of Umang's friends has a birthday and they organize a little trip to Italy to celebrate, although Meher harasses her with messages from afar. And while Umang was dealing with her romantic mess, Sean arrives and tells her he's in love with her. Obvious. But she quickly sends him back to the friend zone. But later that day, Umang finds Sean and kisses him. Meanwhile in Bombay, Samara Kapoor is giving an interview. There she finally showed up. After shooting her film in Los Angeles, she is back in Bombay as part of the film's promotion, and everyone wants to know if she has plans to go see her infamous ex-fiancé. And meanwhile in Italy, Umang is watching the interview. Samara talks about the movie and a new girlfriend. In Italy, Umang is very jealous. Sure, she doesn't want Samara, but she doesn't want anyone else to have her either. Typical. Fortunately, her friend tells her to her face what a hypocrite she is. Unfortunately, she ignores her and just stands there looking at pictures of the new girlfriend. Classic. And they're on their way back to Bombay. Back to the drama. But only drama with Sean because he is in love with her, but she is not in love with him. She's confused about the relationships in her life. But Sean, who is as good as gold, helps her clarify her feelings. It seems that she's still in love with Samara and has sought her out in every new partner she's had since they broke up. But that at the same time that relationship can't work because Samara is smothering her. That night, Umang was at her house when Samara shows up and doesn't seem to be over her either. She tells her that she had the premiere of her movie, but all she could think about was her. But Umang sends her packing. She tells her that Samara only cares about what she needs, and that's why she didn't notice Umang's needs. Then Samara tells her the obvious, that she needs her to tell her things because she's not a telepath or a fortune teller. Then they start throwing accusations and apologies here and there at each other. It looked like they were going to have closure, but Samara kisses her. Well, maybe there was closure because Umang stays at her house and Samara leaves in her limo. The next night, Umang was at home when she gets a visit from her father. He has come to his senses and has gone to reconcile with his daughter. Trusting her to stop hooking up with his sister-in-law Pink, her family relations must be just fine. And so ends the 3rd season. I've watched the series by Lisa Ray, and she has appeared about 10 minutes in the whole season. Let's wait for the next season to see how it goes on. At the moment, there is no reconciliation, and Samara cheated on his girlfriend Anna with Umang. We'll see how that goes. See you in the next video. Bye.